tremendous looking trophy.
Hello, welcome to Platinum Explosion, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's John Blight, and joining me, as always, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to talk about a state of play that was actually good.
What are you trying to say?
Normally we end up being, underwhelmed.
No, I feel like I'm usually in the middle. You know? I feel like everyone else usually ends up underwhelmed.
Okay,
like
usually everybody else is underwhelmed because they think, the second coming of Jesus Christ will be in the...
Yeah. So, usually PlayStation says, hey, we're doing a state of play, it's focusing on VR titles, there'll be no God of War, and then they do exactly that, and then everyone flips their lid. is how I feel a lot of times these things go. And we didn't get God of War in this, but, there was big enough stuff that I feel to...
that we didn't notice.
That people were happy, for once. Yeah, so. And that's pretty much... I'm not even doing a trophy cabinet this week, because there's not much else. Like, they did a state of play last week. Of course, this week...
What trophy are you giving the state of play?
I'll give it a gold. Like, if I was are we ranking it? Like, on a... Like,
no, I don't... It depends on what you consider your trophy case.
I mean,
what trophy does it valid?
I mean, if I was actually doing it, it would have it has the platinum. It's the platinum of the week.
Okay,
like,
good. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to rank it, if you want to like give it a instead of a thumbs up rating, if you want to give it a trophy rating, I think I'd give the state of play a gold.
A gold? Yeah, that's probably fair.
Platinum
Save the platinums for a showcase. Yeah.
Platinum seems like let's not go throwing out 10 out of 10s everywhere sort of thing. But yeah, of course, later this week there's the Jeff Keighley show and then Xbox show. So news has been light. PlayStation did this, and that's pretty much all that happened last week. I feel in the news. Let's What did you everything? You're saying a gold. Were you overall quite pleased with mostly what was shown here?
Yeah, I thought there was like a lot of interesting stuff. Like a lot. It's not necessarily for me, but I think for people it will be exciting. And then it was good to see games again, new games. After we've had a bit of a lull recently, even though these games are very far away. But we got some important confirmations. Stray's got a release date. Final Fantasy XVI is coming next year. Now we can stop predicting when the next Resident Evil game's coming. Because that's also confirmed. Setting up a crazy March next year. Yeah.
I think I really liked it too. I think there was nothing bad. I feel like this is well paced. Like I was never like, oh my god, this section... This is dragging on, or anything like that. I like the way they integrated the VR stuff throughout it too. So it wasn't like it didn't feel like here's the VR section and then here's the non-VR section.
I mean, that's what it was though.
It was, but
it didn't. The 4 VR
it didn't feel like it to me because I think that's because they start with Resident Evil, they transitioned into Resident Evil VR, which felt kind of connected to that. And then they did a couple of VR games, and then it like went into other stuff. But they didn't specifically go, oh, now we're going to talk to you about the future of PlayStation VR. You know what I mean? Like, it like sort of naturally flowed along.
Part of the show, yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciated that. So. All right, let's go through everything in order of how it happened. So the show opens with Resident Evil 4. Not, like, they haven't titled it Resident Evil 4 Remake, but it's Resident Evil 4 Remake. I mean, it's the same as Resident Evil 3 and 2, the ones they've been doing over the last couple of years. They're redoing all the games to sort of update them, bring them to a new audience and these sorts of things. So no gameplay shown. Very much straight away, like as soon as the trailer starts, I feel like most people would have guessed what it was, given the location and the music and everything like that. It felt like it was like going straight to Resident Evil. Then none of like the key things, I guess people would. You don't see the deal. You don't get the what you want to buy or whatever that dude's fucking name. I don't even know if that character has a name. You see like I think you see at some stage of the trailer like the president's daughter or something like running along. You obviously see the back of Leon, but there's like no gameplay specific. You see the village and stuff like that, like key Resident Evil things. I don't know when they're going to showcase some gameplay because that's going to be an important thing. Like, I never actually finished Resident Evil 4, so I'll put that out there. I tried playing it years and years and years ago. I found the stiffness of the gameplay to be just. I wasn't having a great time playing it, so I didn't bother finishing it at the time. That was the thing, because when everyone like praises it for when it came out, you know, this
I don't know. I felt like there was like a people didn't like it. That was the impression I got back in the day.
Really?
Like people would be complaining about because you're like babysitting a companion the entire time, right?
No, not in this one.
This one?
No, that's 5.
Okay, well, I must getting mixed up.
Yeah. 5, you have a companion. You can play on co-op. This one, you're primarily
no, but they like always get killed and stuff, and you'd be like, oh, bloody hell,
Shiva or Shiva, something like that. I think. I don't know. No, that's not this one. This is the one that sort of moved the franchise into a third-person action shooter thing, and introduced a over the shoulder sort of camera style for the shooting and everything. However, it's very stiff. Like you can't walk and shoot and all these sorts of things. So I didn't love that part about it, but yeah, it'll be definitely keen to see gameplay and what they change going forward on this. Any changes to the level design or anything like that. Although for the most part, they've made the last couple be very close to how they were, I guess, at the original release. So yeah. Not like wasn't a big surprise. We all sort of knew it was coming or predicted it would be coming, but I'm going to be interested in what they do now because I'm like, are you bothering with 5 and 6? Like, are we going right up until 7? Surely not. Like 4's like should be the last. Like go remake some of the other spin-off stuff, like Code Veronica or something. I don't know. Then they got Resident Evil 8 Village. Is coming to PlayStation VR 2. So whenever PlayStation VR 2 is out, still don't have a date, but Resident Evil Village will be playable in that headset. That means you'll finally be able to truly see how tall the tall lady is and experience that in a way that I'm sure everyone has been wanting to.
Yeah.
For quite some time.
No one's finishing that game.
No?
Nope, they're just standing there getting stepped on, getting eaten by those the vampire ladies. Like, yes, this is what I wanted.
I feel like a lot of people have pointed out online how, like, at first it was like, oh, cool, we get to do, like, the castle with the vampire lady part. That sounds exciting. And then suddenly people were remembering that there's the next section in the game, like, the location after this features a real scary hallway where you're being chased by a screaming, fucked up baby. And it's like, maybe I don't want to do
they're not finishing the game.
Yeah.
Done with the sexy vampire ladies. Don't need to play anymore.
Yeah. I'd love to see like a completion percentage and just people drop off after they're done with it.
Yeah, you could tell where the trophy list drops off.
Yeah. But that's cool. Obviously, a lot of people love playing Resident Evil. What was it, 7?
7 Village. So I guess it was 8.
No, yeah, this is 8. No, but I mean the one before this.
7, yeah.
It was just 7, right? It didn't
VR.
have a spin-off. Bloody hell, go insane. Yeah, everyone loved playing that in PSVR and stuff, so this is cool. Good to see. They did mention that, I think they mentioned vaguely that Resident Evil 4 will have some PSVR content, but they didn't say if it was the full, like, they weren't like, it's the whole game, it's a...
Well, you can currently play Resident Evil 4 in VR.
You can currently play, yeah. So Resident Evil 4 released on Oculus. Oh, MetaQuest. A couple months back. So that's just the entire game in that. And I skimmed some reviews. People said like it plays pretty well for what it was. But yeah, so I don't know. It'd be weird if they're now like, and now here's a remake and this one's in VR. And then MetaQuest is like, well, we've got the shittier version of the VR game. So I don't know. It'll be weird. Then they had the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. What a fucking ridiculously long title is what I gotta say. So this is the next chapter. It's like an expansion to that game. It's coming to PSVR 2 sometime in the future. If it doesn't look like a PSVR 2 game, if you're like, this doesn't look as good as the one they showed me after this, it's because this is actually, it's coming to PSVR as well. It's like, gonna be on both. This isn't a next-gen VR game, would have you. Yeah. No Man's Sky's coming to PSVR 2. Cool. I don't like. Yeah.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
I assume optimized for PSVR 2. That's why it's being showcased. So obviously, again, you can play it on PSVR. currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, in PSVR 2, you'll be able to use your arm to
You'll be able to actually do stuff.
interact with stuff like.
Yeah, they were saying you could do stuff in the cockpit in this one, and like the cockpit's a lot more detailed and stuff like that on the blog post. So,
I mean, yeah, it's impressive. No Man's Sky, the game that keeps going.
It really is. Truly is. I mean, no,
I don't know how they're still making money to support them keep going, but they are.
I mean, maybe people keep buying it like every time. Like maybe it's just word of mouth.
This happens.
Word of mouth, like, oh, they
but they don't have like a microtransaction kind of thing to keep them.
No, but I mean,
going,
they've got like expansions or whatever you have to buy, right? Like Beyond and shit.
Don't think so. I think those are just updates.
Are they?
I believe so.
Well, they just made the money back because everyone that sold the game and got rid of it years ago had to rebuy it again to play it. Yeah,
and now I'm sure they're getting the money from Game Pass and probably PlayStation Plus, putting them on the services, keeping them in the black, keep them in jobs.
Who knows? But they're still working on content for it, so it must be getting money enough
somehow.
Somewhere. Yeah. And then the last PSVR 2 title, we got a much bigger look at Horizon Call of the Wild. Of course, this was the first game ever revealed for PSVR 2. However, at the time, it was a very short teaser trailer. Just showed you on a riverboat sort of thing. At the time, it was like, is this the game? Like, you're just on the, like, I'll play it either way, but is this all it is? Are we just on this? The answer is no. So we find out a bit more. It's not an on-rails game. In fact, you'll be doing like full dino combat. You'll be taking on Thunderjaws? Yep. Thunderjaws? Whatever. You'll be taking Jaws. You'll be taking on big old dinosaurs. You'll have like sort of as much as a full Horizon experience as you can sort of expect in VR. It looked like to me, climbing, exploring, combat, all that sort of stuff. A lot of different locations. The story does link into the last game. So you play as Rias, a Shadow Kaja warrior, who's hoping to redeem himself by looking into a threat to the Sundome. So the other part that we saw in the teaser is actually a different experience. So there's, alongside the main story, there's a river ride experience where you take a seat in a river boat and get to take on the beautiful views while being on the lookout for dinosaurs basically wanting to board your craft and take you on. In the PlayStation blog post, it was interesting. They actually mentioned that they're sort of pitching this mode as the help show off VR to your family sort of mode, even in as a way of you're playing it, they're watching the TV and being like, oh my god, like look out, like sort of part
look
of the experience.
There.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So
that sounds like a very on-rails experience, but also a great entry point. And it makes sense within the Horizon world. It's a very Jungle Cruise, like the ride experience, which would be cool.
What do you make of everything from this? Are you excited for this?
This was more impressive than I was expecting. I think based on that first trailer, I assumed it was going to be an on-rails, you're in a boat.
I think everyone
shoots,
did, so,
maybe shoot stuff. It was going to be a short experience, cool cash in, I guess, kind of. But yeah, it looks like there's more to it. Looks like it's, you've got full combat. You're going to be, I don't know how that's going to work out. It does look a lot slower than actual Horizon, because it needs to, because I doubt we're going to be doing barrel rolls and, jumping all over the place.
But it does look like you're moving, or at least dodging attacks.
You'll be jumping to the side, but you won't be like...
No, you're not like barrel rolling and all this sort of stuff.
Rolling down a hill, running away.
But it does look like
a very small zone.
Yeah, time a button so you dodge their attack and then pull back the bow and yeah.
And I mean, of course, you don't have the thingy, the whatever they call it, I can't remember.
The thing in the side of Aloy's head, like the scan thing.
Yep, the scan thing. So you won't be able to have any access to any of that information. It'll just be your knowledge of what you need to take down these things. But it looks really cool. I think adding the traversal element makes it pretty interesting and kind of Horizon-esque. A lot of climbing. I'm pretty keen for this. I feel like what they're aiming for is something like an Arkham Asylum or Arkham VR, which was I feel like was a flagship like launch game for PSVR, and this looks like it could be a similar sort of length experience, like an hour or two. You climb up a mountain, fight a bunch of dinosaurs, believe you're in the world of Horizon, and then you're done.
Yeah, this looks really good. This looks definitely a lot better than I thought it would. I think it's going to be like sort of everything's broken up. This level, this section, you're exploring. You get to sort of stop taking the vistas if you want to, or else you're doing these like jumps and have to like make sure you grab onto shit so you don't fall to your doom or. Which in VR that's always great because
that's scary.
Your mind's like, what the fuck? Where are we? Yeah, pretty much. So, and then it'll be like, oh no, here's a big dinosaur battle sort of thing. And like judging by the different sorts of dinosaurs you saw in I always call them dinosaurs, even though they hate like
it's machines.
Yeah, it's machines. But I was dinosaurs. There's always machines. Different types seen throughout the trailer. I presume it'll just be a slow build up throughout the like campaign of the game. It's like, oh, you're taking on one of those little small ones, like the ones you can one shot kill, watchers or something, yeah. And then you go up from that to whatever the next level is, and then eventually you're up to the Thunder Mordor thing, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where's shaking your head?
Just your inability to call them by their names. That's all.
The Thunder Moors.
Thunder Jaws.
Okay. Who's to say? You know what I mean?
I'm literally looking at the name of the...
We all know what I mean. At the end of the day, it's fine.
Just the respect. That's all it is.
I'm going to be completely honest. I think the Thundermoors are the name of Magic the Gathering card. I've been looking at too many of the fucking recent.
There's a Snapmaw.
Oh, Snapmaw. That may be a thing.
That's the crocodile thing.
Yeah, Snapmaw. Maybe they're in it too.
They literally are. You saw a Snapmaw go under the boat.
They're in the river riding experience. That's right. Keen for this. No release date. We don't even know when PSVR 2 is coming out, but I'm going to presume that this comes out the day the PSVR 2
it's
comes out.
interesting because what was the second thing shown again? The Saints and Sinners, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's listed as 2022.
Yeah,
I assume that's the date for.
That's the date for PSVR 1.
1, yes. But I think Resident Evil 7 had 2023 on it.
Yeah.
So I assume they're aiming for next year.
Yeah, I guess so.
For PSVR, yeah.
Yeah. But I
mean, it is a little surprising there was like, hey, we'll know more information about PSVR 2. Here's all these games for it. We don't know when you're going to be able to play them on the device.
I just feel like they're still they're still crunching those numbers and getting the maths on how many units and production they can have, and then planning the launch alongside that. Like I presume that if
do you reckon they started making them or like trying to make them?
Yep.
They're just somewhere in a box in China at the moment.
Yeah, or at least like parts or something. I presume because I seriously think it is a matter of like I don't think I still think it's early next year. Or early-ish. I still think it's like Q1 next year is what I'm going for. I guarantee I can't guarantee. I reckon if they were like, Guerrilla, you need this Horizon game ready by January, that's when PSVR 2 is coming out. They were like, cool, yeah, done. That's no problem. It's fine. Or, if they were like, need it by March. No, that's all right. No, cool. Like, I seriously think it's just a matter of them getting the units and then basing the release date on that. So, we shall see. Anyway, that's the end of the PSVR 2 section of the State of Play. So then we move into some other stuff. So then we got Spider-Man, or Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered coming to PC. That's cool. Sony's push onto PC continues. They get to double dip, get a bunch more money.
What a setup to that. Sony fan favorite is coming to PC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my brain goes, don't say that. Because I know it's not. You know what I mean? Like, I know deep down it's definitely...
they were correct. People love Spider-Man.
It's true.
That subset of the audience, like, got their hopes up. Like fools.
Mm-hmm.
It haven't worked out. We were talking about Bloodborne. Yeah, it's not coming.
It's not coming.
Yet.
Yeah. I hold out hope, but I also have no hope. So,
listen, if you're in one of those countries with streaming, you'll be able to play it. The PS Plus Premium.
That's not the same at all. So this comes out August 12th on PCs for people who haven't played it or don't have PlayStation or wouldn't play it on PC. I'm sure there'll be some different things like God of War and all these other things that we've had. Uncharted, where you get different graphical options and stuff that maybe the console didn't have at launch, and ultra wide support and all these sorts of things. But most importantly, it really is just a way for Insomniac to just double dip, get some more money. Cool. It's not a bad thing.
Absolutely. If you don't have a PlayStation, now you can play Spider-Man.
Then Stray. Most importantly, there was a new trailer, but the game's coming out July 19th. That is a month away, basically. Month and a little bit away. And then the interesting tidbit of all this was PlayStation Plus Extra and higher tiers will be able to download the game at no extra cost. So, Ash.
Yes.
You buying it or are you just upgrading to...
I guess I'm upgrading.
You reckon
Extra, right?
You reckon it's easier just to do it
I mean,
that way?
it's... Well, yeah, I feel like it's also setting a precedence. Like, they're going to bring indie titles exclusively to that tier and higher. Whereas we were thinking potentially some of these would just go... A lot of these essential... Like, a lot of the PS Plus... Or the indie games that they've been promoting would come to PS Plus Essential as like one of the 3 games that the players get. But if they're coming, to the service, that makes it more enticing to upgrade, I guess.
I think this is good. I think one thing I saw was, I don't know who tweeted it, but someone was like, I don't know, like, does this not just feel like this potentially would have just been a PlayStation Plus game anyway, and now it's on the service? But I'm like, yeah, but like they still have to give you, like they're not taking away any of those slots, so you're still getting the 3 PlayStation Plus games a month.
I guess the difference is you don't own it forever, or as long as you've subscribed, I guess. There's a potential for it to leave the service. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because it's not like a library. I don't know. It depends on where. We'll have to wait and see where it's placed, because that's the thing. If it is the way they worded it as a PlayStation Plus extras at high and above, be able to download the game at no extra cost. That sounds like a PlayStation Plus sort of thing where you've got the game forever as long as you're a PlayStation Plus extra plus or higher subscriber. Compared to if they're placing it in one of those libraries, that's when yes, it can get taken out of one of those libraries. Like that's their Game Pass.
Yeah, I think that's more like Game Pass, where it's leaving the service. You're not going to be able to play it anymore. You'll have to buy it.
Yeah,
like,
but if this is treated as a extra PlayStation Plus game for that month, only for extra and higher above tiers, that will mean that you will have access to it forever as long as you are subscribing to the right tier and above. Similar to how you have access to your PlayStation Plus games as long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber.
I think that's too much. It's like too much explanation.
I don't think it is. Like, I mean, well, maybe it is. People get confused about their PlayStation Plus games. Like how,
I mean, they've already made it so difficult so far. That's just...
No, true, yeah. Either way, it's out next month. I'm very keen. Can't wait to play it. The next one I loved, and I'm sure you give absolutely zero fucks, but we got a very cool trailer for Callisto Protocol. I know we're getting some more gameplay at Summer Game Fest has already been announced. So that's cool and exciting. Looking forward to that later this week. But so this is the one that was originally announced as part of the PUBG universe. They had a little teaser trailer sort of thing. Glenn Schofield, basically the dude who did Dead Space, the head like honcho behind that. Brand new studio, Striking Distance Studios. This is their first game. It's coming out December this year. Automatically sort of jumps onto my let's fucking go list. But the thing that like this game looks awesome. As a Dead Space fan, right? Very Dead Space inspired. The main character at some point in this trailer literally has on the back of their neck or whatever, like their collar because you're in a prison. You can tell that's like the health bar, similar to how Dead Space, the health bar was like on the spine, on his pack sort of thing. Yeah, so obviously if you're a Dead Space fan, I think you're going to be all over this. I think it looks heavily inspired, really cool. But the thing that stands out is that Dead Space remake is coming out in January, I think. And this game's coming out in December. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how do we go from like Dead Space is dead? There's no games like, and there's no one like filling that void of like good survival horror games anymore. And now they're like, here's the next game from the guy who gave you Dead Space, and a month later you can play a remake of Dead Space. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you time that up? That's so weird. But yeah, this looks really cool. It has like creepy monsters. It has like inmates going crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it looks fucked up. And yeah, I'm down. I can't wait. Did you hate everything about this, or what was the go?
It was fine. It's not for me. I'm not playing this.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting release date, like right before, like December 2nd. That's like really late in the year. We don't usually see a lot of games released.
No, this will probably
December at all. So
yeah, in past years I was thinking, I'm like, has there ever been something in December I've actually like played or
liked?
Or liked? And the answer is I don't think so. So this is definitely going to be really weird going into December this year and be like, because we'll be doing our like game of the year voting and stuff like that, and I'm like.
You'll be like, it'll be the game freshest in your mind.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, so
you know, is it going to get a bias? You know, is that why they're putting it so late in the year?
I can't remember, like, if it would even make our cutoff based on last year's rules or anything. So I don't know.
I don't think so. I feel like November was the cutoff for last year.
Yeah, I think November. So it probably won't even make the cutoff this year, which, you know, the rules are the rules. But it also won't make the cutoff, I know, for like the Game Awards or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely a weird time to release a game. I think December, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the date they picked, right before Christmas, so all the kids will get Callisto Protocol for Christmas. You know? And as some people have been saying, I think they definitely want to get out in front of the Dead Space remake.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. And maybe it's a matter of December is the date, not because it's the closest to Dead Space remake, but that's when the earliest they would be ready. You know what I mean? Like they want out before Dead Space, and maybe they wish they could do it October, November. They're like, nah, we won't be able to. Have to go December. Imagine if the earliest they could do it is like January, whatever. I think Dead Space is like mid-January.
January 1st.
You know, like, yeah, literally a couple of weeks before.
Do you think Dead Space is coming out next year?
Yeah.
January, though?
Yeah. I think it is solely because they've been doing those, like every couple of weeks they've been doing those dev video things. I really wish more developers would do stuff like that. And I know it's not that we're quite often talking about how the games industry is like super secretive and like no one likes talking about anything. But the one positive about doing what they've been doing with these videos discussing the game and showing things is you've literally got to see them. Like, so the first one they do, for example, they bring it out, people complain about the lighting. Now they're talking about how they've taken on that criticism and they're showing off how they've changed it and fixed it. You know, so they haven't like shown another official trailer or anything for that game, but they have been consistently showing and talking about the game to the audience. So you have an idea of like how it's progressing and getting a look at it. And they've been doing those streams or those videos maybe every 3 weeks. I feel like it was for the last couple of months. So ever since they revealed it. So yeah, I think January is definite. Next on the list we got Roller Dome. So this is from the develop.
Nope.
Did I skip something?
Nope, that's not the title of the game.
What's it called?
It's Roller Drome.
What did I say?
Roller Dome.
Oh, I've spelled it wrong here. All right, no, that's right.
Yep, already fixed it.
All right, cool. I'll refresh the tab. No, I won't, because now I have to scroll down. Roller Drome. That makes some sense, actually. Look.
Don't worry, you're not the only one. So
I think that my brain auto-corrected that. Like, Roller Dome does sound like a title. Roller Drome, even, which is from the developers of Ollie World, Roll 7. I think this looks really, really cool. I will add on asterisks here too, just since we were talking about it a second ago. There's a rumor going around at the moment that people reckon this is going to be this is going to release August, and then August this will be a PlayStation Plus extra tier game, which I don't know where that's coming from, but I've seen that floating around on the internet. Anyway, it's got this really cool aesthetic to it. The gameplay is like 80s inspired comic book sort of style thing, I guess, but it's not like it's not actually a sports game. It's you're doing these lines. It looks like I presume to try and clear the level in as perfect of a run as you can. It's sort of how I was taking it. Like I feel like it's that sort of game where you just sort of want to learn the perfect route to take down the enemies and like clear the level and everything. And that's like leads you to a good score or something like that. That's how I take it. I think it looked really cool. I definitely keen to check this out. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it looks really cool as well. Very cool art style, very Sable-esque.
Yeah, Sable. Yeah, that's good.
Sable's the game that people have been bringing up a lot. Interesting that it is just a single player game. There's no multiplayer element, which would have been.
How's that interesting? Would you really want this to be fucking multiplayer?
I'm surprised there isn't a multiplayer mode, I guess, to expand on it. Like, I guess there is no multiplayer in Oli Oli, but yeah.
It's like Oli Oli World, like, they spent years developing. Like, I think that game was like several years. I'm surprised this is the only way I feel like this game's coming out so close after that is because this is a lot smaller of a project.
Yeah, so looks cool. It's a crazy idea that someone hasn't done this before, I guess, kind of. Put a shooter in rollerblades. Well, I guess kind of like.
I'm sure someone has.
I'm sure somebody has, but
Lollipop
not like this.
Those are a chainsaw.
Sure. I was going to go with Sunset Overdrive. Don't they have roller skates in that?
Yeah. That's probably a better reference. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, it looks cool. Looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm down. And yeah, they have DLC coming out for Oli Oli World as well soon. So I'm like, they're putting in work over there at that team. So. The next thing we got is Eternites. Eternites? Yeah, I'm doubting how I was saying it, but which is a weeb game, but I kind of liked it. I think it's very heavily inspired by Persona. So like, I didn't get this from the trailer, but when I looked up the PlayStation blog post, it was like, this is Persona.
I don't know if it was in the blog post or whatever, but apparently the head person on this like played Persona 5, then went and played Persona 4, and then quit their job and started making this game.
That would add up. I mean, the trailer's pretty cool. Like, it's very violent or whatever. But like the pitch, when I went and like read up more after, like, of course, you know, the PlayStation blog post drops all these things after States of Plays. The pitch is literally like it's the end of the world, and you've got like dungeons to explore and stuff like that. And guess what? You get given, like, you can see in the trailer at the top right hand corner, there is a date. You know, there's like, at the start trailer, it's a 6 to 6, as you can see here on the video version, and you'll fight monsters. And that's because you can choose on certain days to spend that time growing relationships with people outside the dungeons. You can try and go on dates with people. You can do all that stuff. Or you've got to have that dungeon cleared by a certain day. Like, what does that sound like? It sounds like fucking Persona. Like, that's literally what it sounds like. So, I'm mildly interested solely from a point of view of, I like Persona, and I can get into some weeb games, I guess. Like, depends on the fan service level that sometimes just I'm like, I can't. Like, there's a level where I'm like, it's just too much for me. But yeah, what do you think of this?
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it clearly Persona inspired, but it seems like it's Persona but action RPG. You know what I mean? Rather than turn-based combat.
Yeah, I don't want to say it in a way that's like, oh, they're just like ripping off the game. It's like they're very much ripped the.
It's very much inspired.
It's very much inspired by and taking the core mechanics, but the world and the characters and everything else doesn't. That's not Persona. Like, and you're not using personas. You're battling yourself with swords and shit. So like,
yeah, you know, people making fun of the press R2 to hold hands thing, and like, come on,
really? Were they?
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Oh.
You know, yeah, keep bringing it up because it's but yeah, at first I was like, oh, it's some crazy weird game, but you know, listening to more about it and like watching it a couple more times, it's like, yeah, I can get on board.
I mean, Persona is such a popular game that it's surprising more people haven't tried to do similar like gameplay and stuff. So.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Coming out next year. Street Fighter 6 got a trailer. At first it was like, at first I thought it was a spin-off because they had a like walking around mode thing, single player thing, and then they jumped into the actual gameplay, like the typical gameplay you would expect from Street Fighter, which I was like, all right, yep, cool. But yeah, after the fact, again, reading up a bit more. So you're going to have your typical Street Fighter stuff here, and then you're going to have a World Tour single player mode, which is that mode where you're walking around, and then it's like you enter random battles, and it turns into proper Street Fighter and whatever else. And then there's also going to be a battle hub area for multiplayer in this, which is something they teased right at the end of the trailer. Neither of us play Street Fighter, though, so I don't know how much you cared about this. I was like, I don't know, art style looks cool, but whatever. I'm not going to play this. I don't play fighting games.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fighting game fan, but I'm interested that they've taken such a huge risk. It's gone away from the previous games. I think it's interesting that they've put. It seems like it's going to be very feature heavy. There's going to be a lot of content at launch, which I feel like was the massive problem with Street Fighter V. With Street Fighter V, it was you can there's an arcade mode. Or there's competitive multiplayer. That's it. Whereas this one feels like there's more there at an entry level for people to get into it. There's more single player content, which will hopefully mean it sells more, especially when it looks like it's going to be PS5 exclusive or at least console exclusive.
There's going to be, I can't remember. I think it's coming to everything, but there was PlayStation exclusive content. I think was the last word I saw. Something like that.
Okay, yeah, it is coming to Xbox as well. So
yeah, I think it's PlayStation exclusive content, whatever that content is, TBD. But yeah,
yeah, and there's a lot of other interesting things they've added as well, including real time commentary over the top of your fights. That's interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how that's implemented for people who love the seeing actual competitive esports. Yeah, you can get a similar kind of experience, I guess.
Yeah, definitely interesting to learn more. Not something I'm probably going to play, but I'm keen to at least learn a bit more just out of interest for the franchise sort of thing. Tunic is coming to PlayStation on September 27th. So of course this released on Xbox and PC earlier in the year. Mostly everyone loved it. I think most people loved it. So Ash really liked it.
Yeah, I only played a bit of it, so I can go finish it on PlayStation.
Finish it again. Finish it for the first time.
With trophies.
Yeah. That's the important part.
I mean, depending on how difficult the platinum is. Yeah.
It'll probably be difficult. Let's be honest.
Depends on how much you have to collect. It's
everything. Let's be real. Let's be real. It's going to be everything.
It's fine. Apparently, there's a super. You can turn off enemy damage and stuff. So I mean,
fuck yeah!
If you really need to,
fuck it. Then we got a trailer for Season: A Letter to the Future. So this is a game I haven't seen for I feel like a couple of years. I don't remember the last time that I actually saw a trailer for it, but I'm pretty sure the first time the trailer showed up for it was during a state of play. I think the reason it wasn't seen for ages is because, and I did tweet about this, and then the season accounts replying to all these people pointing out, but there was a story that came out last year or the year before, I can't remember what it was, but the CEO and one of the creative director were accused of what's the belittling, screaming at, and groping employees. So that was a thing. And long story short, the CEO, the creative director was stepped down for a period of time and then has now sort of crept back into the studio in a smaller capacity, and I don't think anything happened to the CEO. Nonetheless, those two sound like creeps, but from everything I've read about, there's two creeps. It sounds like it's two creeps there, and 98 out of 100 other people who are just working on a good game. So I try not to let it ruin, because the game does look very, very good. I'm keen to play it. However, at the same time, I did find it funny. I was like, I'll tweet this out because I don't know if people are remembering this story. And the fact that their Twitter account replied to this terrible PR thing they have on their website where they're like, oh, we've changed all this stuff. I'm like, whatever. You just and I look for it, and they reply to other people like me who had tweeted other similar things and hey, we're just the same copy paste, oh, we're just doing the thing. I'm like, okay, cool for it. So that's my little asterisk on this game for this one. But yeah, I do think it looks really cool as a game itself. I love the art style. I remember the first time it got revealed, I was like, fuck, this art style is like top tier shit. Has these like great character designs and everything else. Just looks very chill, sort of like adventure game, like you're just going outside. The picture's like you're leaving this community or whatever you've lived in for the first time. So everything in the world's like exciting and new, and you know, you just want to take pictures and chronicle it and everything like that. So yeah, what you make of any of such things?
Yeah, it looks interesting. I wasn't really drawn in or anything. It looks like a kind of weird walking simulator, kind of that sort of wholesome game, I guess, which is weird to say given the studio's background. But yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. Interesting vibes. Yeah.
Did you remember or see anything about the studio before, or like until I do it?
I mean, there's so many. It's like hard to keep track of exactly which one's which. Because I think there was like 3 or 4 studios like at the exact same time, all coming out with similar stories. Like it was like the big indie reveal. Like it was the Dear Florence like developers and that as well at the same time. So it all kind of blurred together.
Yeah, here's their tweet. There was the copy paster that they had to everyone tweeting about this stuff was, "We appreciate you mentioning this. Since this article, we've worked because I shared a Game Industry W's article that like broke the story in 2021. Since this article, we've worked to improve the studio, and these changes are outlined in our policy page and in our statements, which I can only hope to be true. But I also just think it's funny that they were like replying with that to every single person, it seemed, who was like tweeting out about that thing here. So anyway, interesting. As I said, just 2 people by the sounds of it, based on the Game Industry is reporting, which I think I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it was written by Rebecca Valentine. That one? Valentine? Is that her name?
Rebecca Valentine?
Yeah, that's the name, right? I'm not going fucking insane. Cool. Next one, Final Fantasy, and last one, Final Fantasy 16 trailer was shown. The one we've been hearing about for weeks has been ready to be shown, and they just needed somewhere to show it. Where were they going to show it? State of Play, of course, because Sony's buying Square. No, I don't say that. That's fake news. It could be true though. Final Fantasy 16 trailer. This looks really good. I'm just gonna go out there straight away. Like, I'm very excited for this. I think this looks fucking great. This looks like return to form sort of potential on this one, I think. I have no idea really what's going on in the trailer to a degree, which is fine because it's like, you know, you've got Royal Family. I like the way the game's like super hardcore, including all the summons as part of the lore of this world and everything. I think that's really cool. But yeah, they do show some combat and stuff throughout the trailer. Is that you know, it's real time. It's not, you know, switch back to. They're never going to go back to turn based or anything crazy like that. So it still is like that action game or whatever. But it looks really dynamic. Looks to have this vast big world. It's set back in the what do you call this period? Like Kings and Queens and shit. Like classic sort of Final Fantasy. Medieval. It's like set back. Like it's returned to where they used to make the Final Fantasy games.
It's proper fantasy.
Yeah, proper Final Fantasy before they moved to like steampunk and future and whatever else that they
sparkles.
Yeah, afterwards, like from 7 upwards is where they sort of went off the rails. Not to say they're bad games, but as far as like a setting went, this is
listen. There's no cars in this game as well.
There's no cars. It's funny how the last one literally was boy band in a car, and then they go back to this one. But what do you make of the trailer?
It was a cool looking trailer. Not a lot of. We still don't know what the story of this game is, I think. Or what characters are involved. They're just, you know, crazy imagery, interesting setting. I think I feel that clearly the summons are going to have some sort of purpose, I guess.
The summons are integral to what's happening in the world. Like, which
is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it also looks like the summons are like having like giant kaiju fights against each other.
Yeah.
Because they've each got their own health bars and that kind of stuff. So like, are we going to have like a tiny fighting game inside which you control kaijus inside of it? I don't know. Giant summons, yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm keen. Someone who has not played much Final Fantasy for this one, yeah.
Yeah,
It just looks pretty.
I don't think not knowing fully what's going on is a problem as far as this trailer as far as this trailer goes, because like I can only speak for myself, but come on, like watching this trailer, it's just like it's so much cool shit. Like your brain's like, that's cool, that's cool. I don't understand what's going on, but I just want. But you go, I want to learn more. You know, I want to learn more. That's the important thing. You're
it's still 12 months away. You don't need to know.
Yeah, exactly. The game is supposed to release around mid next year, like based on the release date they give. So we've got plenty of time to learn more about the world and the characters. And they will give you more on the world and the characters, and they'll dive into all of that. So
they'll give you too much. Probably.
Yeah, probably too much to the point that you're like, fucking hell, I know this person's whole life story of this character I'm going to be playing out. It's bloody ridiculous at this stage. Yeah, I did see some people complaining about, I don't really know what's going on. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to know what's going on. The trailer's just supposed to be like, isn't this shit fucking cool? Do you want to play this game? And I was like, yes, I do want to play this game. Like, that's okay. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with a trailer that's just like, sort of, you know,
check out all this cool shit.
Check out all this cool shit. I'm like, yes, I'm intrigued. Give me some more.
I will watch this cool shit.
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, it's not like this is the trailer right before the game launch. Like, fucking everyone calm down. Put my head in. Yeah, that's the state of play. Lots of really cool things. Again, going through that list, I'm like, nothing there that we're like, the only thing that was like, it's like, Street Fighter, none of us really, we don't really play these games, but otherwise, I feel like nothing but sort of good shit in here. I don't know, Walking Dead, Retribution, but whatever. You don't care for Callisto Protocol, but I do, so fuck you. I don't know. The story thing has some weird parts, but season thing, but whatever. Yeah, that's that. Let's just pick through a couple other news stories and then we'll wrap up this episode. The only good thing about the reason we didn't record a bonus one, we just waited to record it, is because if we did that bonus one, it would have been fucking nothing for this week's episode if we'd done that. So it's good. So PlayStation Plus games for the month have been announced. So this month you're going to be getting God of War, the 2018 one. Get ready for the new one. You can play that. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strike. Whatever that is. And Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which I'll just tie in quickly. A story went up this morning saying that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is getting a free update as it was announced this morning as of recording. They're adding voice acting to the game finally. So this is one of the big complaints about the game, which was totally understandable. The game looks great, plays like sort of fun, you know, it's not a bad sort of Smash wannabe game. I liked it for what it was. However, none of the characters have their voices, which is super disappointing. Like, you don't get to hear Nigel Thornberry be like, oh, smashing, as he like hits someone off you know, like there's certain things you want to hear. Like,
with a hammer, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so this is a free update coming. This will be really good. You just, because it has all the music and stuff. So, so the full list, they've tweeted out a full list of actors and stuff, and it's like they've got everyone here, or at least from what I could tell from the main cast of everyone that they need to voice act the characters and everything. And I'm sure for ones that I aren't aware of and stuff that aren't the main actors or whatever, there's someone who's going to sound fine enough for a game like this, and it's not going to be the end of the world. So yeah, I think this is well timed, because that means this update, I think, was it arrived? Oh, it's available today, so the update's out now. So yeah, by the time you're playing this, PlayStation Plus games, they go live tomorrow or whenever. Good fucking timing. Good timing. So that's another reason to be. And I might reopen the game tempted, because no one was playing it online back when I was trying to review it. No one. So now I'm like,
there'll be a bunch of people trying it out.
Now I'm like, do I just re-download it to just like fuck around? Like, I'm pretty terrible at these games, but I do like a bunch of the characters in this game, so that's the part I was enjoying, just playing as the Nickelodeon characters, because, you know, like a lot of kids.
Now if they're saying shit.
Now they're saying shit, I'll be able to enjoy it a lot more. So, yeah, I might re-download it to give it a whiz. Give it enough whiz. So, yeah, what's your... are you going to download that? What do you think the PlayStation Plus games is?
I mean, it's a fine average month, I'd say. I think God of War being there is interesting in regards to, hey, Ragnarok's going to get some news this month. I'm pretty sure. getting people excited. It's like, hey. But, God of War's been part of that PS Plus collection since PS5 came out, so people on PS5 have already got the game.
Yeah.
So really, it's for people who haven't bought the game previously on PS4, who only have a PS4, who'll get benefit out of that. So, I mean,
yeah.
Sure, people aren't super happy about that, but I mean, yeah, that's cool. The Boruto thing, sure, that's fine. And then Nickelodeon All Stars, fine. Yeah. I worry that this is going to be the standard of stuff we'll be getting going forward. And like any exciting like indie games or everything will be going to extra above, yeah.
That is certainly a concern I've seen like other people have, and I think it's a valid concern, but I feel like don't judge it off just the first month or something. Like let's at least give it a few months to get a bigger picture of how it's all going to play out. Because there's months like this month PlayStation Plus games. It's like meh, like it's not terrible. Like God of War for people who don't have it's really cool, but for most people already have it, so it's like whatever. And then the other two games are like meh. But it's not like they have these months before they made the PlayStation Plus changes. So, it's not like, oh no, look, here's the proof. We've had plenty of months of PlayStation Plus games in the past. This isn't the first.
Yeah.
So let's get a couple months in to at least get a better idea of what's going to look like. Congratulations to Sony. Press Start writes that Sony Interactive Entertainment has told Game Industry.biz that it has reached 20 million sales of the PlayStation 5 console somehow. The news comes amid ongoing struggles with supply due to component shortages and global shipping delays, meaning the milestone likely would have come a lot sooner. Otherwise, sales of the PS5 have been outpacing the PS4 by a huge margin, with Sony recently reporting that it took them 82 minutes to sell 80,000 PS5 consoles. In comparison to the same amount of PS4s, it took 9 days. Quote, we are thrilled to share that Sony Interactive Entertainment has sold more than 20 million PlayStation 5 consoles globally. Head of Global Business Operations at Sony Interactive Entertainment, Veronica Rogers, told the website, continuing, since PS5's launch, our team have worked tirelessly to deliver a truly next-gen gaming console that the world over, and we want to take this time to thank the fans for their support. Your passion for the PlayStation brand is what drives us to inspire us to innovate new technology, engineer the future of gaming, and continue creating the best place to play. To those fans who have yet to get their hands on a console, please know that we are planning on a significant ramp-up in PS5 production this year, and we are working endlessly to make sure that PlayStation 5 is available for everyone who wants one. We shall see. But 20 million, good job. Yeah, it definitely would have come sooner, but it's still a milestone.
Yeah, still cool. It's surprising that 20 million people have PlayStations 5s.
Everyone out there.
I mean, it's low because, a lot of them are in warehouses of scalpers.
Yeah.
And then 2 of them are in your place. So.
2 of them are indeed. Let's quickly go over one PlayStation production story. So the continuing weekly updates of Twisted Metal at this stage, I feel. But Push Square writes, Twisted Metal show cast wrestler Samoa Joe as Sweet Tooth, Will Arnett to provide voice. So this is a weird fucking thing. So this is an update to what we already learnt, which was that they previously we did mention Will Arnett voicing Sweet Tooth, and I don't remember if we joked around about like if it's a CGI character or something, but that's what I was thinking. Anyway, update. They write, update, we've already heard about who will be providing the voice of Sweet Tooth in the Twisted Metal series, but who will portray the character physically? We have the answer. As reported by Deadline, Joe Seno? I don't actually know how to pronounce his name, sorry. Better known as AEW wrestler Samoa Joe, will fill the boots of the Manacle Killer Clown. Incidentally, Samoa Joe is providing the voice of King Shark in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So it appears he's diving into the realm of games with some pretty big roles. How do you feel about Samoa Joe being on screen as Sweet Tooth? Like, can you picture it? Like, what's the...
I guess, because Sweet Tooth's like in a lot of like, costume. Yeah, I feel like he's heavily made up, and Oh well, I guess he's got his shirt off a fair bit. Actually, now looking at images, yeah, I could see Samoa Joe like in that role. I could even see Samoa Joe like providing his voice as well, but I guess they've gone the star power route of Arnett.
It's a weird pairing. Samoa Joe's body, Arnett's voice. It's a weird pairing. Maybe it's because they want more of a higher pitched, I don't know, maniacal sort of clown voice.
I guess so.
Samoa Joe could give you that like deeper creeper,
deep creepy, yeah.
Voice.
But good work. Get it where you can.
Yeah. They must. I wonder when they start filming.
Come out, putting people in the kinetic couch.
Yeah,
doing muscle busters all over the place.
I feel like it's a given. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just expect
everybody's going to go night night.
If he doesn't do at least one fucking muscle buster or something that looks like it at some stage in the show,
some sort of wrestling move, yeah,
some sort of wrestling move, because I feel like it's any wrestler who goes to live action like movie Hollywood or something, like at some stage they do something that very much like gives
just one.
It's one wrestling move, yeah.
Just like The Rock did the rock bottom through.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder when they start filming, because then I'll know when he's going to drop the Ring of Honor television title, I guess. I don't know. Because there's no way he's going to be holding that while he's filming this. Because this will be months. This will be several months of filming.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like,
depends on how much Sweet Tooth's in the show.
Sweet Tooth has to be in it, like, every episode. Alright, that'll do it for this week's episode of Platinum Explosion. If you've got thoughts on if Sweet Tooth is a character who will be in every episode of the show, because he's a villain, he's presumably...
But maybe he'll be in every episode, but he doesn't have to be in there for like an extensive period.
No, but he's going to be in every episode. Like, he'll be in every episode.
Be like, you could shoot his 5 minutes of footage for every episode, being menacing in a car. Like,
yeah, but then he's gonna have at least the last couple of episodes he'll be in a lot more. First couple, he's at least in it.
I think you get away with him keeping that title, especially with Ring of Honor being very in between.
I don't know. He's been defending it like every other week at this point. Let us know though how you feel and about the Ring of Honor TV title. Not the podcast for it. Let us know your thoughts on PlayStation related stuff. But tweeting, comments, questions, concerns, or joining our Discord, let us know there. ExplosionNetwork.com/Twitter, ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. If you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to ExplosionNetwork.com/support to our Ko-fi page over there. And remember, until next week, every trophy does indeed count.